Hello and welcome to a Mushy P episode of Chip Advisor. Yes, hello there. I'm Phil, and this is Chip Advisor, the food podcast that deep dives into a random food type every week. Food stuff, not food type. Already had a horrendous start to the podcast. I'm here with Lewis. How are you?
I'm very well, Phil. How are you? I feel like we sometimes forget to reciprocate your question.
Truthfully, I had a bit of a bad night last night. I was borrowing some stage lights from my boss and put them in the back of my car in a flight case, big flight case. And he said, "You can just put them loose if you want." I said, "No, I'll put them in the flight case, keep them safe." Anyway, went round a roundabout, and the flight case went through my window in my car.
Oh,
So
goodness.
smashed up car. So I'm having to cycle into work with a fairly painful wrist injury, and I haven't got change since I cycled in. So, and I also realised I didn't have any shoes here at work, which is a pain because I can't wear my cycling shoes because they've got clips on the bottom, so it's very uncomfortable. The only shoes I've got are white Jesus sandals, which don't look good at all, and I don't even know when they were purchased, but they were in the boot of the car that is parked up here. So I'm wearing those with socks, cycling shorts, and a dirty old t-shirt. I look like I've been found in lost property. It's not great. Not great.
So one other question, Phil. What were the lights for? I think that's what everyone wants to know.
Because my brother-in-law is borrowing them for a wedding. So yeah. All
Right.
fun, yeah. So it's not even a party I'm going to.
Oh goodness,
Still,
it's been very bleak the start to this podcast.
because my car is a 2006 Ford Focus Sport. Don't know why it's a sport, but it's a 3-door car. Anyway, so I phoned Autoglass repair, Autoglass replace, and you know, in mild panic last night when I got back, and they said, "Oh, that's going to be £650, please," which really. So she said, "Oh, it might be covered on your insurance," and I was thinking, "Well, I don't want to claim for that." Anyway, Churchill, God bless them, have included it as windscreen repair, despite the fact it's just a rear window. So happy days. They're going to cover it, and I just have to pay £75 excess rather than £650. So
It's been a story of highs and lows.
Highs and lows, and now I'm dressed like someone who's been found. So all good. Anyway, I can hear them shouting.
Harry, where's Harry? Harry!
Hello.
Very quick today, Harry. How are you?
Very quick. Oh, I'm very, very well. I think the moral of the story is don't ask Phil how he is first, because you then get a tale of woe.
I did.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
I should have been playing this as well.
You should have. You should have. All your tales of woe, Phil, involve a flight. I mean, this is to some degree. But today it was a flight case.
Just the case today.
Yeah. So that's good.
And only £75 rather than 1,200.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I love the way when you ring up and they give they tell you this dreadful scenario first, 650 quid, when they know perfectly well your insurance is actually going to cover it, but they just like to terrify you first.
Well, I tell you what window cover doesn't actually cover.
Okay.
Hang on, Lewis. Hang on.
A few years ago, my little Fiat 500. It's quite old school. It's got a sunroof. Sunroofs are not covered as glass on your car. £500 on the sunroof.
Oh,
ouch!
Yeah. It does not count as a piece of glass.
So, what is your sunroof made out of?
Glass.
Okay, cool, great.
But it is not covered by your glass insurance companies.
Oh wow! Thank goodness. The Ford Focus Sport doesn't have a sunroof.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's not many cars that do these days, to be honest.
No, I once had, and I wanted, I drove a very long way to get this car because I wanted this specific model of Renault. What was it? Renault Scenic. It's a Renault Scenic, and it had 2 sunroofs, and I wanted one with
What?
2 sunroofs. So I had a sunroof for the back passengers and a sunroof for the driver and front passenger.
Oh, not a
And
his and hers.
No, that would have been very odd, actually. But yeah, it had 2. Such was the excitement over sunroofs.
Wow.
But, yeah, the word of warning to people who've got them, though: maybe change your car. 500 quid for a sunroof. But how did you
Absolutely.
break your sunroof?
Well, it was quite a mystery. I just came out one morning and it was broken. I don't know what had happened. There was
vandalism.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, vandalism on the mean streets of the village.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Harry. We didn't really talk about how you were.
Yeah.
You quickly went into mocking me about
Oh
flights.
no, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. No, I'm fine. I mean, I am a touch worried because I've done the research this week, and you did say deep dive, and I'm not sure deep dive is 100% accurate, but I do have some things to say. But no, I'm very fine. I'm fine, thank you. I'm just wondering whether the roof of the Fiat 500 being glass is an sort of an integral part, so it's not something that auto windscreens cover. Was that the problem?
That sounds like the kind of argument they would have made.
They have. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the bodywork.
It's part of the bodywork.
Structural.
Indeed. I once structural. I had a Land Rover Defender at one time, and I was once at Homebase. Other DIY centres are available, and I was getting a bit of wood for some DIY that I was doing because I'd used to do DIY before I had children, and I just don't have time. And I put this bit of wood in, and it just fitted, and I pushed it in, and it just fitted, and the door shut, and it just fitted, and I got in the front of the car and realised I'd smashed the windscreen from inside the car.
Oh,
Auto glass repair, auto glass replace.
And it was and I think this was quite a long time ago, so I think it was actually only £50 excess. Shows how old I am. But they came and did it, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's amazing how often that happens." And I think he was just trying to be nice.
What a lovely chap.
Yeah, lovely chap.
When I was on the phone yesterday, the lady said to me, she said, so it's the rear, because it's quite a weird window to break, your rear back window, and she said, I think like it's from the insurance company. I didn't know what the correct answer was, but she said, "Were you by any chance trying to smash the back window to release a trapped dog?" If I say yes, will you pay for it? I mean, I don't know what the situation is here. So I said, no, it was my own foolishness, and that.
That felt like a bad answer.
That was wrong.
But I didn't know, because I'm a terrible liar. I didn't know what the follow-up question would be.
Yeah,
maybe
what
she
sort
might
of dog
put me
is
in
it?
prison. Yeah, exactly.
If only we'd had this podcast beforehand, you could have played it down the phone, the whole story.
Yeah.
That would have been a great idea. Would have been a great idea. As it is, very, very excitingly, I don't know what's coming now, because Harry is, as he's said, he's prepared a whole podcast on the very polarizing food that is mushy peas. And you're wearing a mushy pea coloured T-shirt. Surely that's intentional.
Yes.
Oh, that is very good.
That's just mould. Don't worry about that. That's just my work outfit. Amy will be very cross. I haven't got change. She gets cross with me when I go on and do these things, and I come out, looking stained. So I should. But this is my work
consolation.
Gear, so
you're not wearing cycling shorts.
Oh,
like
that is quite a close up.
That's not so good. That's not so good.
Yeah, sorry. That was maybe too. Strangely, we did that in our football podcast this week. My crotch got viewed. Sorry about that. But yeah, you could be wearing cycling shorts, so
Yeah, it could be worse. Always could be worse. Yeah, no, mushy peas. Or if you Google mushy peas, which is what I did to do my research, the byline comes up with thick green lumpy mash of peas, popular in the United Kingdom. So that could be that's the alternative.
Quite a long title. I have to listen back to what you just said.
Yeah,
Thick
thick
green.
green, lumpy mash of peas, popular in the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'll retitle this
Yeah.
week's podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. So it's So I mean, it's what the title suggests, really. Mushy peas. Peas that are mushed up, and it is a popular accompaniment to fish and chips. But that is not the only thing you eat.
Harry, what are you doing? You're doing out of fish, Harry.
Yes, I think is the answer to that, Marco. But yeah. So it's generally eaten as an accompaniment to fish and chips, but has other regional uses, which we'll come on to a bit later. But do either of you two know how you make mushy peas?
I genuinely thought you could only. I didn't think you could make them. I just thought they was one of those food things.
You grew
that
them
were,
like that?
Well, you know that you can only purchase, and they're
Right.
made.
Okay.
I've never heard of anyone making mushy peas at home. And then we had a comment sent in from Charlotte, who's in Australia. Said my mum makes the best mushy peas, and I actually went back to clarify because I don't understand. I've never heard of anyone making mushy peas that isn't just getting a tin of bachelors out and chucking them in a saucepan.
I presume the process is a lot of boiling. I imagine it would be sort of my guess of how
Yeah,
you'd
there's
start
a
to
lot
make
of
them.
boiling.
I'm trying to
Is
think
it
if
like
you'd add
overnight
anything.
oats?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Is it like
Yes,
overnight oats?
that's close.
Oh.
That's close. Yeah, this isn't the quiz, by the way. There is a quiz, but
Okay.
yeah, no, yeah. So you
Oh, it's nice.
use a specific pea, which is called a marifat pea, which is a big variety of pea that you then buy dried, which you can buy, I guess, in the whole food aisle of your supermarket or
Oh,
other natural home food stores. Yeah. So you soak them overnight, but you soak them overnight with baking soda. I think that is
oh,
because I know that is because I've deep dived into the research, but I think that is to keep the color of the pea because there's a lot of boiling involved later on. Yeah, so you
often they
soak
are
them overnight
radioactively green.
with the baking soda, and then you wash them off. Yeah. So that it's vigorously green, verdant, I think the term is,
Yeah.
or if you're French, and yeah. So then So you then soak them off and then simmer them for hours and hours until they boil down into the mushy consistency, and that's how you make them. It
So
isn't
nothing
just
else is
mashed up
added
peas,
to
as
it?
my daughter.
Right.
Well, there are regional differences, but the standard. I mean, it's a bit of the old Susie Salt and Percy Pepper, to quote Ainsley, but yeah,
Yes, yeah.
that's what you put in. Yeah, so that is the process of making them.
So they're not blitzed. They're just stewed until they are no longer whole.
Yes, yeah. They're just cooked into. I mean, they're disgusting enough as it is, mushy peas, but the actual process of making them makes them even more disgusting.
Oh, Harry's not a
than
fan.
you initially realised. No, not well. It's one of those things, and I always say to my children, "Don't say you don't like something until you've tried it." Right? That's what
Yeah.
that's a rule in my house. But I don't think I've ever really tried mushy peas. I just can't take it.
What about a
It's
pea fritter?
well. So if pea fritter is no, in answer to your question, I've never eaten a pea fritter, but
What?
to make a pea, yes, indeed. But you reduce the peas down a bit more to thicken them up a bit, and that's how you make pea fritters.
I had
Okay.
never heard of a pea fritter until I moved to Dorset.
What?
No,
Yeah. So I don't know whether I was just never came across them, but I definitely never heard of them until I went in a chip shop in Dorset.
Is that because they only sold eels in London?
Well, possibly. Now, I do have a question about London and mushy peas actually, because
Right.
I was talking to Joe about this earlier on, and we were trying to, because in my mind mushy peas is quite a northern kind of
Yes.
food. But then I kind of feel like it's a bit of an East London thing as well. And then I realised I may be confusing the green luminosity, if that's a word,
Yeah.
of them with pie mash and the liquor that you have on the side, which is bright green parsley sauce that you got from the pie and mash shop.
What? This is all very new to me, having only visited London a handful of times. The pie mash and what?
Pie mash and liquor,
Right.
absolute staple of particularly the East End. Yeah, you have your meat pie, unspecified what kind of meat is in the meat pie.
Oh, I do like a meat
Yeah,
curry.
so it's meat pie, mashed potato, and liquor, which is a bright green parsley sauce.
Parsley sauce, yeah.
Which I believe at one point was made by adding some of the broth from the stewed eels. Possibly that could be incorrect. And
Always eels.
And there's
what
always
is it with you people?
Yeah, there was a very particular way of ordering it. You had to order it as 2 and 2, 2 pies, 2 mash, or 3 and 3, and then you'd have after your meat pies.
Hang on, you can't just say that. And what? 2 and 2?
2 and 2, 2
So
pies, two ladles of mash.
That's if you were ordering for 2 people.
No, for one person.
So you have 2 pies for
2
one
pies,
person.
They were quite small pies,
Right?
And then they were always the pie mash shop were always, they felt like wooden benches were what you sat on to have them. And then you would always, because if you'd not had enough pie, there would always be fruit pie and custard afterwards.
Oh, well, I'm on board with that.
I mean, you didn't do anything else for the rest of the day after that, but it was anyway,
a heavy mix.
Anyway, I did do a bit of research to work out if you got mushy peas in a pie and mash shop. So I looked at one of the famous pie and mash shops in East Ham, and it stated that mushy peas are available at the weekend.
What?
They're a special occasion type of a food. They're a weekend. You have your veg comes at the weekend.
Yes,
that is weird. That is very odd. Because the reason we decided to do mushy peas is because we'd seen that Rick Stein in the news had started charging £2 for condiments, and that includes like little pots of ketchup, like on the side, £2. But he includes ketchup, like mayonnaise, and mushy peas all as condiments. So in a fish and chip shop, I don't understand why mushy peas are a condiment. To me, they're a side. I don't think I've ever ordered mushy peas without them being in a fritter.
Right. Now it feels, because £2 for some ketchup or some mayonnaise seems extortionate, but
Correct.
£2 for a side of mushy peas sounds.
Yeah, but it
doesn't sound as bad.
No, but that's what the world's coming to. It's gone are the days where a small portion of chips is 75p, a medium is 85, and get a large for £1. It's mad.
Yeah.
Fish and chip shops these days, they are losing the plot, but I suppose all their costs have gone up. So
that's what they'd argue. But it's not. You don't just eat them with fish and chips in the north. The north, they do eat them with pies, and they call that. Just give me one moment. Pie and peas. That's what they call that. So that actually
say what you see.
In which they basically have a pie in a tray or plate, whatever, and they actually put the mushy peas on top of that, and that's how you eat them, which is a bit more like your parsley sauce, but I think that's probably more of a coincidence than any sort of relationship. But for our Antipodean listeners, in South Australia, it's called a pie floater. And they it's basically the same thing. They put the pie. It's not actually, beg your pardon, it's not quite the same thing, because the peas is actually sort of looser, and it's more like a pea soup than a mushy peas, but they have the pie, and Yeah, they put that in there, and there are different variants. Nottinghamshire, Nottingham has several different variants. They eat it with mint sauce for some reason. Would you ever do
Oh,
that?
well, yeah. So I've seen like in fancy restaurants, they
Yeah,
try and make what might be termed as common items fancy by adding a bit of mint.
right.
So yeah, I was going to ask you about mushy peas, minted peas.
Yeah.
Are they? Yeah, I mean, you don't get minted peas in a chip shop, do you?
Oh no, you wouldn't get minted peas in a chip shop. Um,
And why are they?
yeah,
Why are they? Some mushy peas are worryingly green.
yeah. Well, that's that. Yeah, that I think that's artificial colouring, and that's the old bicarbonated soda. I think it fixes the colour. I think this is it because you boil them so much, and you know what happens. You think about your granny's Brussels sprouts, and they're practically see-through by the time she's finished with
Yeah.
those balls. So it's you lose the color the more you cook things. So that's what basically keeps the color. But I don't know whether they actually add green food dye to some mushy peas.
They must do.
Yeah,
Must
well,
do.
maybe they do, but traditionally it's the old bicarb, and that should hold it. People also use in Lancashire.
Oh yes.
They have it with vinegar, which sounds even
Oh.
worse. I mean,
Oh, oh no, oh no, that's very much my have vinegar in it. Yeah, pie and mash shop always involves a lot of vinegar, so I
What?
kind of link it to
Really?
that. Yeah, and what,
Curdling?
well, fish and chips, you have vinegar on, don't you? Fish and chips and
Yeah.
peas on the side.
Yeah, but if you've got gravy involved, you don't want them vinegar as well. Or you're not having gravy on
Wow.
your.
Oh no, I wouldn't be having gravy on my fish and chips.
No, on your pie and
Oh, in your pie? No, you have
mash.
you have it. Oh, you have liquor and a bit of vinegar in
and
your liquor.
that's your parsley sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That because my first memory of having mushy peas was, I think we were on holiday in Devon or Cornwall when I was quite young, and with my mum, and I think it must have been the first time we had mushy peas, and they were presented to me, and my mum was of the old school of you eat everything that's on your plate.
Classic.
None of this kind of negotiation that we have in our house of
Oh yeah.
you must eat your peas, 10 peas, 5 peas, just eat a pea. And there was none of that. My mum was you sit there till it's gone. And I remember trying to get down this kind of I like mushy peas now, but at the time I was not a fan. I remember just absolutely piling more and more vinegar on it to try and get these things down. And in my mind, I was there a good hour. I mean, it was probably
wow.
10 minutes, but
Yeah.
So
I
I connect. I definitely connect vinegar and mushy peas together.
Well, I like mint sauce on any roast dinner. It doesn't have to be whatever it's meant to be, lamb or something.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, I don't really eat the meat on a roast dinner. I tend to just have a meatless roast. So
Whoa!
sometimes, well, I don't really like meat on the bone or meat that I know has been on the bone. I only really like processed meat when I eat it, I suppose is what I'm saying. So
try not to, so that's never been on the bone.
Well,
I mean, it could have been grown to be some processed meat.
There's a lot more steps in between me and the bone.
Yeah, okay.
That's my.
That's fine then.
If there's distance between me and the bone, I'm happy. That's my motto.
Phil and the turkey twizzlers. You must have been furious with Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, I'm doing all of Bernard Matthews' good work. Yeah, absolutely. I was furious. But so sometimes, if I don't have any mint sauce on a roast, I know that it's mainly the vinegar and the mint sauce I like, so I'll vinegar my roast if I'm out of mint sauce.
Wow, you've just critiqued putting vinegar on mushy peas.
Yeah,
you put vinegar on a roast dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tell me you put ketchup on a roast dinner,
no,
I'm leaving this school.
No, not ketchup. Don't worry, don't panic. But you put a bit of vinegar. It's effectively mint sauce without the mint. It's just sauce.
There's many things that are no longer like the thing if you take the main ingredient out.
True. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get you there. We sometimes have mushy peas. Yeah, I don't know about in your house what your structure is for meal times with the kids, but we'll have a protein, a carbohydrate, and some vegetables as a standard rule. I think most households do. And the vegetables might be fresh, they might be frozen, they might take the form of some baked beans some evenings, and sometimes it'll be mushy peas on the side. And it certainly isn't restricted to having it with fish and chips or whatever, a pie or whatever. Often with quiche or anything, we'll have mushy peas with anything. I
Mushy
don't
peas and
understand.
quiche.
Yeah, it's just it's just treated like another vegetable.
with mint sauce.
No, they're not. I mean, Lidl don't bother with minting their peas. I can tell you that for free. But yeah, I don't. I just treat them like I would a baked bean or a carrot.
I
Just
think
have it on the side.
a baked bean is another carbohydrate. I've got to be honest with you,
Is it?
rather than a vegetable. But if we're probably
Is it
going
not
down
another protein?
oh well, it could be a protein, but it's not. It's certainly not a vegetable, which was what you decided it was.
Are beans vegetables?
Pulses, aren't they?
They're pulses.
Good one. Oh, it's about time pulses were brought up on this podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But is a pulse not a vegetable?
Well, I mean, they're a legume to start with, which is
Hang
part
on.
of the pea family.
Right. Talk to me, Harry.
Well, yeah. So baked beans are like soy. I don't know what actual type beans they are.
Are they haricot?
They could be. That sounds right. Although I think your old mate Rick Stein would use haricot beans in his baked beans. But yeah. So they're all legumes, which is the pea family. So that's your broad beans, your French beans, your runner beans.
Yeah.
Your has beans, but that's a
Lovely.
joke from the old Holt pantomime in 1995. But we don't need to talk about that. So in its original form, it is a legume, but I think it becomes a pulse when it's dried out, and I think that's either a protein or a carbohydrate. I think you would, in a vegan diet, you would have it as part of your protein, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would suggest.
Yeah. I've just got the music because I wasn't expecting the drum section. It's not got that far into it, and the drum section, quite frankly, made it very hard to hear what you said.
Well,
But you did say
I was battling
legume.
against it. Legume,
Yeah,
which is the genus.
I always thought that word was legume. So I'm an idiot.
No, that's just pronunciation. Did you know what a legume was?
Well, yeah, I'd heard of it. I knew it was like beanie things. And is a chickpea a
that's a
legume?
legume. They grow. So legumes are your peas, your beans, that sort of thing. They're the where the seed doesn't grows in a pod rather than in a fruit or under the ground.
Is hummus effectively slightly more heavily processed version of mushy peas, but for the chickpea?
Well, hummus isn't cooked. Well, no, hold on. No, the chickpea will be cooked, but it's then cold, isn't it? Actually, so it is cooked, and that is just whizzed up rather than cooked down.
But you get loads of flavors of hummus, like sweet chili and stuff. Maybe if they did that with mushy peas, people would have it more with pita bread.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're in the marketing department of Mushy Peas PLC, you might be thinking about that instead of the old vinegar and mint. You could.
Talking of these things that like on legumes and stuff that you build, have either of you ever had peas pudding?
Well, I was So I probably should have said this at the beginning. The peas pudding is where kind of mushy peas comes from, and that it was again a pea that was like the marrow fat, or I can't remember what it was now, but they used to cook that down in the same way, but it was sort of looser, so it was between mushy peas and the sort of soup, and they used to eat that with ham, hock, or bacon in sort of 17th, 18th century that began, and that sort of evolved then into the mushy pea that we have today.
So Marifat peas, just a hint
Yeah.
if anyone wants to wind up a sibling, you can get them in a small box, in dried ones in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And that box is pretty much the same size as a small box of Maltesers. And
Right.
one Christmas, we were told to get presents for our. So I've got a sister and 2 brothers. Now Kev, who's not done the podcast, he's the other brother. He got my sister what she thought was a box of Maltesers, and simultaneously broke her heart, but made the rest of the family laugh with joy when she opened those so excitedly and was just dumbstruck and confused. So that's a great prank to play if you want a cheap Christmas present. It's they're very similar boxes, and when you shake them, they sound identical.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine.
So what else can you tell us about these mushy peas, Harry? Anything?
Well, yeah. Well, so in certain regions of the country, generally in the north, as I say, they have them just with chips, and they forego the fish, and that's another dinner.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
right up my street.
So it's a bit like having chips, but it's a vegetarian. That's for your children, Phil. You could serve that up to them.
Yeah, if we go to a fish and chip shop, we never really get fish because no one likes fish.
Do you mean no one likes fish in your house?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, because nobody likes fish.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay,
It
right.
should have.
Just checking,
yeah.
just checking.
So they might sometimes have a pea fritter or a cheese and onion fritter. My eldest just will have a buttered roll. They always taste nicer from a chip shop, and she'll just make a chip butty. But I only really go for curry sauce, which is very. If you get the good curry sauce and not the mixed with water one, the good curry sauces you can get in chip shops are very similar consistency to mushy peas. And I wonder what's in there. But that's another podcast, I suppose.
Yeah, you dread to think, really.
But love a curry sauce. And you know what? I could go for one of them tonight. I bought marshmallows after the last episode.
Oh yeah,
of course I did. And the Morrison's ones, the pink and the white ones, do taste exactly the same.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, the curry sauce, he's probably got chickpeas or something like that in it, I would imagine, to sort of bulk it out a bit, because presumably it's vegetarian.
Yeah, gotta be, isn't it? Yeah.
Otherwise they'd tell you. But yeah. But no, that is the sum total of my research on mushy peas. Thank you very much.
Well, this is exciting. Well, should we do our quiz?
Oh yeah, I've got a quiz though. Yeah.
This is exciting. Let's do the quiz. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz.
Yeah, so I've done a quiz. I've sort of done higher or lower, really. So it starts off with mushy peas, and we go higher or lower on food items that I have looked up on our old friend, the Waitrose website.
Oh, it's lovely to hear from them. Yeah. Lovely to hear from them. Do you need any tension music? I've upped the volume of it because I often get told it's too quiet.
Well, you can have tension. It's a very light-hearted quiz. Anyway, you've got perhaps I'll tell. So you've got 5 items, and you've got to guess higher or lower. But you've got 5 items each, and then we'll tot up the scores where you get to. In the situation of a tiebreak, I've only just realised you might need a tiebreak for this. I'll have a game of something else lined up, but we won't worry about that. Just we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay.
So so who? Hold on. I'm going to toss a coin to see who goes first.
Tails never fails, does it, Lewis?
Oh, I always go heads.
Do you? I'm more than happy with that. I don't think I've gone heads since I was about 8.
Oh.
And it's heads. So Lewis, you want to go first or second?
I'll go second, I think.
Second? Right, Phil.
Yes.
So, on Waitrose.com,
a lovely website.
A can of Farrow's Giant Marifat processed peas, because you like You like things to be processed away from the plant as far as possible, because you don't like to think about it. 180 grams is 90 pence. Okay. So that's your starting item. Do you think that the Farrow's Giant Marifat processed peas at 90 pence is more expensive or less expensive than Waitrose Essential Cream of Tomato Soup, 400 grams? Higher or lower?
Oh, I mean, who knows with Waitrose these days? It's just so exciting being in the quiz. Thank you. I'm going to say that the soup is more expensive.
Right,
okay. No, completely wrong, and I've just realised.
Oh.
So you have 0 points. This could be the shortest quiz ever, but I tell you what, we'll just carry on because we'll keep playing. Because I'm afraid the cream of tomato soup is 75p. Okay, so now we come to a tin of Waitrose Essential Wild Salmon. This is 213 grams when emptied. How much is that? Yeah, of because it's in water.
Oh, okay.
Because it's in spring water, where the product inside is 213 grams. Is that higher or lower than the Waitrose Essential Cream of Tomato Soup, so at 75p?
I mean, hang on a second. What? That's Lewis's question or my question?
No, this is your question.
Oh, okay. I mean, obviously higher. Got to be higher. Yes.
Correct.
Okay, good. Sorry, I thought that those questions were slightly uneven. Okay.
No. They're all, you're just playing for fun now, having got 0 points in the quiz. But I've spent a long time. I've spent a long time reading these. Researching these, so I thought we'd carry on. So,
okay.
This is just ridiculous.
In fact, you probably don't need the tension music anymore. Okay, so I now have a bottle of Belvoir. Do you say that? Belvoir?
I say Belvoir. I feel that people at Waitrose probably say Belvoir.
Yeah. Elderflower cordial, 500 millilitres. Is that more or less than the wild salmon?
Oh, I'm going to say less because I feel that fish is overpriced.
Okay,
so
more or less. It's less. Do you remember last week, Phil, when you suggested I was doing absolutely dreadfully in the quiz? When I answered one of my questions, you said, and I quote, "Ha!" Well, at this point, I am going to say, "Ha! What a ridiculous thing to say." No, I'm afraid that is £4.20. You've obviously never bought £4.20. Elderflower cordial.
Elderflower cordial?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, where is... Yeah, I mean, this is just...
Yeah.
The flaming Crosby!
Twice as expensive than your tin of salmon. So we now move on to a packet of Border biscuits, sharing pack, 400 grams.
Oh, I know the pack.
Higher or lower than the elderflower cordial?
It really is a lovely pack of biscuits.
Yeah.
I can't rate them enough. I mean, they should be in a normal supermarket about £3.50. You got to add the price of actually having checkouts that are open, so that's going to increase the... I'm going to say the Border biscuits are more expensive.
No, they're exactly the same price.
Nothing for a pair in this game. Oh, come on.
Right, and last but not least...
just ridiculous.
Yes, I know. Jordan Simply Granola with, and this is very important, a hint of honey. Is that more or less expensive than the Border sharing biscuits?
Right. I mean, I am quite well known as being a cereal expert.
Yeah.
Granola, however, is my weakest link. It does horrendous things to my body. So the granola's got to be cheaper than £4.75 because it's only small. Hang on, how many grams was it?
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
I mean, I have guessed from the tone of
500 grams.
Oh, yeah. It's quite a lot of granola, although it is weighty. You wouldn't want it in pick and mix.
You've got to,
Yeah, I'll stick to my guns. The granola should be cheaper.
and it is cheaper. You've ended on a high, Phil. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. But
Yes.
tragically,
No.
no, it's not because you got 0 points about 10 minutes.
Okay.
ago.
Fair. Yeah. Fair. Okay.
That's all right,
Right.
Phil. The draw
Right.
is still in the game here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Very much still in the game.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to put you off, Lewis, but here's some tension music.
Right. Lewis, you start with a tin of Harry Ransden's mushy peas, 300 grams at 95 pence. So lock that in, 95p. Okay, so we then go to, it's always fish, isn't it? Fish. A tin of Waitrose Essential MSC. Do you know what MSC stands for, anyone? It's to do with tuna.
Multiple sclerosis.
No, I don't think it's that.
Yeah, it's sourced. It's the middle word sourced.
Oh no, I should explain. I don't know what MSC actually means. It was a genuine question.
Is it sort of the eco one where they don't break up the surface of the seabed with nets? I don't
Yeah, that's about right.
Something like that.
I watched that documentary, like Sea Infinity or something. You know.
Yeah.
On Netflix. Yeah, where they were showing. So this tension music. Tell you what, it feels very loud.
Yeah.
I'll edit it again next week.
Okay.
Sorry, tension music fans. Yeah, I saw, and they were farming fish in big cylindrical bits of the sea. It was very weird.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Anyway, MSC tuna in spring water, 112 grams, Lewis. Is that more or less expensive than the mushy peas?
Oh, well, I've just done my Tesco shop.
Right.
And a tin of tuna in Tesco. Don't know if it's MSC, but that's £1 a tin. So
Right.
I'm gonna put the Waitrose added tax onto that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the tuna's higher.
Oh,
Tuna is more
Lewis.
expensive.
Correct, Lewis.
Hooray!
Correct.
And that's the end of the quiz.
That's the end of the quiz.
Oh.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah. So
Okay, you can carry on your quiz. I'll put some
carry on.
celebratory music on for you.
Yeah. Right, we move on to Waitrose Essential frozen chips.
Sorry, so how much was the tuna, Harry? Sorry, I didn't.
Sorry, I do beg pardon. £1.25.
Okay.
£1.25. Okay. Frozen straight cut chips, 900 grams. How much are they in Waitrose? More or less than £1.25?
Oh, I reckon that's probably quite close. I'm gonna say less.
Wrong.
Oh,
No, I'm afraid it's £1.80. But
Sandwich.
yeah, I think we'll abandon the quiz there. It's not.
What?
Hasn't been my finest hour.
Oh, I enjoy it. The people are playing along at home.
Oh, all right. Well, we can carry on. All right. Well, so the frozen chips, £1.80. We now move on to a San Francisco style sourdough, 400 grams. Is that more or less expensive than £1.80?
I mean, hang on. Right. A San Franciscan style sourdough. Are they known for their sourdough in San Francisco? Or is this something Waitrose have done to make it seem posh?
I mean,
it's the baker's name.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
Yeah, so it's Sandra Francisco. She's making
Sandra and Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Right. A sourdough.
Sourdough.
Oh,
Very on trend.
Yeah, I reckon a sourdough's more expensive.
It is more expensive. But it's only £2.40 though. I thought it'd be more expensive than that. Got to say. Right, so now I've looked up the poshest thing I could find on the Waitrose website, which is called the Patam Peperarium Poacher's Relish.
Right.
And it's only 39 grams of this. Is that more or less than the sourdough at £2.40?
Right. I'm gonna say they're exactly the same.
Oh.
I see what you've done there, but alas, no.
Damn.
The red herring I was pulling there was actually cheaper. It's actually only £2.
Oh.
So it might look posh, but it was actually cheaper than a loaf of bread.
You
It's
built
at
up the
£2.
poshness. Yeah.
Did.
So and last but not least, the Waitrose Essential Original Blend 160 tea bags. How much, or not how
Oh.
much, is that more or less than the Poacher's Relish at £2?
160. That's quite a lot of tea bags.
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
I would say the tea bags are a little bit more expensive than £2.
No, I'm afraid they're exactly the same.
Oh, he stumped me there.
Yeah, God,
Oh,
dear.
damn it.
There's so many twists and turns to this
Yeah.
quiz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
That-
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the quiz, Harry.
Yes.
I did as
Yeah.
well. A couple of tricks in there as well. It's very
yeah,
good.
yeah. So
You have got the job, Harry. I'm very, very pleased. That was very good. That was the quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. So we've got time for some listener questions.
Come on, quickly, come on.
We must remember we are in my lunch break. So, you know. So a lot of the questions sent in were along the lines of why and why does anyone have these? They're disgusting. I didn't realize quite how polarizing mushy peas were. I thought they were, you know, a well-loved staple of the country, but apparently not. You don't like them, Harry. Lewis, do you like mushy peas?
Yeah, I don't mind them. Would I choose mushy peas over standard petit pois or other thing?
I love a petit pois.
Yeah. You know what? With fish and chips, I would go mushy peas over a standard pea. I think with most other things, I would have a regular pea.
Do you use them as a dip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you? A pea dip?
Yeah. I mean, I'd want other condiments. Well, actually, peas aren't a condiment. I would want condiments alongside the mushy peas. Let's not get into a Rick Stein.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah, oh, Ricky,
mushy pea
baby.
condiments. But yeah.
What's your go-to condiments then? With your fish, your chips, and your mushy peas?
Oh, salt, pepper, vinegar, ketchup. Lovely. And if I'm feeling a bit exotic, maybe a bit of mayonnaise. I'd like
Exotic.
Wow, mayonnaise.
You really have a sound clip for everything.
Well, most things. Yeah, we haven't. But I've got to extend the soundboard at some point. Mayonnaise with fish and chips. Mayonnaise.
I'd probably
with fish?
just have it with the chips.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I like a bit. To be fair, I like a bit of tartar sauce.
Yeah, I was
as
going to
well.
say tartar sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I love condiments. To be fair, like I am a big fan. So our fridge is mostly condiments.
Oh, I wouldn't put pepper on my fish and chips. That's interesting. I might try that. I mean, it's not.
Sorry, Harry. Sorry.
Oh, well, yeah. No, it's just something I'd never really thought about doing. But I mean, it might work. I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not an overly large fan of fish and chips. Really,
I'm not. I've got to say, if I'm having a takeaway of, I'm probably not going fish and chips.
Yeah.
It would be well down my ranking.
It's a lunchtime takeaway for me. Fish and chips. I wouldn't have fish and chips on the evening. I would mainly go to. And when I say fish and chips, I obviously mean curry sauce chips and a sausage and batter or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But that is a lunchtime thing that I used to have with my dad before a football match, rather than in the evening. It's a bit heavy for an evening meal.
Oh, it very much felt it was definitely a Fish Friday thing. Used to be very much a Friday evening thing when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
We had a fish and chip shop at the end of the street.
Oh, God, heaven!
The end of the street. Imagine having a shop in the village, let alone at the end of the street.
Yeah.
I mean, I dream about these days now, but I didn't know how good I had it.
No.
You had it. Was that a pun?
Oh, it's lovely work.
That's lovely work, Harry.
At the thank you. At the end of my street, when I was at university, was a fish and chip shop, and it was called the Codfather, which was
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I used to live above an Indian takeaway when we were first married. That was an adventure.
Oh, that smelled amazing.
Yeah, lovely smells.
It
Maybe
is
not
a
every day.
Yeah, the old frying of the onions in preparation for the evening the smell did bleed up through the floorboards.
Oh,
I love that smell. If I could get that smell as a perfume, oh, I
Well,
reckon
Chris-
my wife would be
Christmas
all
sorted.
over me.
Well,
Fried onion perfume. I once had a deodorant that was pizza flavored. That I took on a school trip to Leeson House in Swanage,
yeah,
Leeson House.
lovely.
Yeah.
and that was very much not popular with the ladies.
No.
I can confirm, and I haven't seen it on sale since. And I was, I don't know, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
not-
talking of onions, we had an evening out, didn't we, chaps, last Saturday, and
Yes.
we all had some food from the kebab house, and my wife Amy was still complaining I smelt at Sunday lunchtime,
I mean,
and I'd brushed my teeth at least 3 times.
the size of your takeaway, Harry, was
Well,
Yeah.
was extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's not like you went to the kebab house and just had, a standard meal. You went for
Yeah.
whatever they call it, like the godfather of kebabs or something.
Yes,
It was
something like that.
I mean, Harry has also played up the fact we had a night out. But a night out was that we went to Mike's house and a takeaway, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
lovely. But we didn't hit the
And
big
then-
smoke of Bournemouth.
No, of course not. They'd be ridiculous.
Um,
And then Mike got scared by a hornet, but that's probably a tale for him to tell.
I mean, I think we must have thrown Phil under the bus, as Phil
No,
also
what?
got scared by the
No,
hornet.
I'm getting a bad flack here because I spotted it and said, there's a hornet. I didn't run upstairs. Right, so
Did
Mike,
you or did you not run away from the hornet, Phil?
no, I was getting Mike because he had ran. I was worried for Mike because he had ran out of his lounge, right? So he ran out of his
Screaming
lounge,
to his
shouting,
wife.
Claire, help! Because Claire, his wife,
Harry,
was upstairs.
Did Phil run away from a hornet?
I mean, he can dress it up as that he was saving his worried brother, but yeah, I think we all saw it, didn't we?
For sure, I didn't run back into the fire, but save yourselves, lads. Save yourselves.
Yeah.
It was an Asian hornet. They're lethal, aren't they? Aren't they meant to, I don't know, cause you a lot of problems if they sting you? I don't know.
I think.
Anyway, listen to
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
questions.
Yeah.
My manliness, which everyone's used to on this podcast, has gone right down the drain. Right. Kerry says, mushy peas, why would you? Peas are meant to be little green balls of loveliness, not mashed up and made into a puree. And I'll use her word, a pappy puree. There's a lot of people just slating peas. Jackie says, frankly, no, just no. Lucy Race says, oh yeah, I won't bleep out your surname. Don't worry, Lucy. She's very good at she's the reading fairy. So if you need to book her up, there you go. So Jackie says, frankly, no, just no. Lucy says, why, just why, which is the same question rephrased, in my opinion. Gemma says, pea fritters, yes or yes?
Well,
Lewis, do you like a pea fritter?
I've still never had one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
maybe-
I've never had one.
What? Even this weekend, treat yourself to a pea fritter.
Oh, I'm going nowhere near a takeaway this weekend.
You've probably still got some left. from last week.
Yeah. It's still, yeah. I think actually, I think on a serious point, I think actually it was a way of people eating peas when they weren't available. So obviously fresh peas are the best and most nutritious you can, but people used to, in the old days, they used to store things and dry things and then boil them up and eat them later, right? You
Yeah.
know, when in the depths of winter. So I think that's probably where they come from. So they do serve a purpose, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're a texture thing, isn't it? It's sort of, I think, with kind of a crispy batter and some chips to have sort of a very soft, sort of saucy pea. It's quite nice.
Yeah, you're right. So,
Yeah.
there was a long wait after the word saucy.
It was.
I don't know what angle we were going.
I forgot what we were talking about an hour in. I was like, what are we talking about? Marshmallow? No,
Well, yeah,
not
yeah,
this week,
Fish
Jake
fingers,
says, why is it just peas that they mush? I've never heard of mushy sweet corn. Well, you got hummus, Jake. That would be my answer.
Yeah.
Carrot and
mushy.
swede mash. It's kind of.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that's nice. That's nice.
Oh,
But
it's lovely.
you
Yeah,
got to put butter with it.
absolutely.
To take the
Pepper.
taste away.
Yeah. Everything tastes better with butter. But no, very nice and a good way of getting your children to eat Swede.
Any other legumes that get mushed up? Oh, sweet corn's not a legume.
No, sweet.
Well,
Technically, it's not a legume. It's actually a type of grass, a sweet corn.
Is it? We've
Yeah.
we've just started picking our sweet corn. We
Yeah.
grew some baby corn this year, and I
Nice.
remember when I purchased the baby corn on the little
Yeah.
tab thing, it said if you let this grow past a certain whatever it was, it's poisonous. So so don't eat it.
What?
Yeah, if you let it grow
hang on. We need to go for Harry for
Wait,
this.
what?
This
Hang
feels
on.
like-
No. What?
Right.
What did the instructions say? Sorry. So I've got.
So, Harry, so the
Yes.
instructions said something along the lines of if it grows beyond a certain point,
Right.
don't eat it because it'll be poisonous. Now, we bought this from the garden centre, Hilliers, just down the road from work, actually.
Oh.
So I trusted it, but I planted the little tab thing
Yeah.
in with the sweet corn, so I could
Yeah.
look back and
Yeah.
I think I've run the lawnmower over it by accident.
Ah. Right.
So I
okay.
don't know whether I'm safe to eat these baby corn, which are now quite big for baby corn, if I'm honest.
I mean, I've never heard of that. I presume sweet corn and baby corn are the same things. They're just smaller. What you want to do is you want to feel the husky bit, and if it's
Yep.
quite firm, and you can feel it's full of sweet corn, and
Yep.
then it's got like a taily bit that comes out the top, right?
Oh, the drums really do drown people out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got
yeah.
the taily bit. It's gone a bit brown though.
Yeah. So that actually usually indicates it is ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So just
'cause
try it and see.
I-
But I've never heard of it being poisonous before.
I've just done a lot of research and put it into Google, and
Yeah.
poisonous to cats and dogs, nothing about humans.
Oh, maybe that was
Oh,
it. But I don't remember
misread
reading
it.
the cats and dogs.
But-
Either way, if I die next week and it's
Yeah.
because of baby
Oh, no.
corn,
Yeah. It's now my
then
fault. Okay, great.
a little bit it's Harry's fault. So fine. Not the fact that I've lawnmowed it. Matt says
Would it be really bad if you died and then we did a sweet corn episode? That would be right. That would
it would be only right that you did that.
in memoriam.
Would we say, how are you? How's Phil today?
We could start with that, couldn't we? Yeah.
Oh, it'd be another tragic tale.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh.
It'll
Get the
be
music
lovely
on.
to have a memorial episode. It's a shame that I'll be not around
Yeah.
to hear it.
And we wouldn't
Yeah.
have any sound clips. But anyway,
And-
apart from
and no
that,
one's
sorry,
read it,
what did Clive say? Yeah, no,
Uh,
it would be-
Clive, who's also called Matt, says
That was it, that was it.
Who's the genius that discovered that mushy peas taste better from a polystyrene cup? Harry. your
I
views?
think that's a man called Arthur Bryan Stewart, who invented polystyrene in the process of polystyrene in 1863. And he the styrofoam is also another word for it, and so he developed that. I mean, to be truthful, he didn't actually have mushy peas in mind when he did invent it, this cheap throwaway cup. But he
Right, just hang on. Sorry. Listeners need to know that Harry is nowhere near his computer when he's saying this, so I don't know where this is coming from. If this is off the top of your head knowledge on styrofoam, I would love to know what else is in your head.
Yeah, I mean, it is off the top of my head. It's probably not factual because I'm
Okay.
just making it up. So, in answer to your
Sounded
question,
good.
I don't know why, because I've never actually consumed it out of a polystyrene cup, but I should imagine, because you have that, don't you, when you're out and about, you're either enjoying time with friends, family, you've gone to a sporting event, you're by the beach, something like that. So I think you're probably enjoying yourself, and that's why it tastes better.
Anything that's kind of in the form of a takeaway seems to
Tastes
taste
better.
better, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
think a takeaway pizza is always, you can craft one at home, but the takeaway one always
Never the
tastes better.
same.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have got quite good at make your own pizzas at home with the dough and everything. It's not quite a Domino's, but it's better than what's the other big pizza place?
Pizza Hut,
Oh yeah, Pizza Hut is rubbish. I mean, yeah, not that one. The
Papa
other
John's.
Papa John's. It's better than Papa John's, not as good as Domino's. That's where I am at
Right.
the moment when it comes to grading the pizzas. Polystyrene cups confusing in fish and chip shops because they'll put some they'll have like some chip shops will have like pre-made cups of
Yeah,
mushy peas
yeah,
and they stick it in the microwave but only
Yeah.
for about 10 seconds and
Yeah.
the whole thing is molten hot after 10 seconds. How is maybe polystyrene?
Are you supposed to put polystyrene in the microwave?
Well, I've reheated polystyrene cups of curry sauce in my microwave at home and it starts getting very angry very quick.
Hmm.
That's why
Maybe.
they're well. You kind of
Yeah, that's
answered your
why it's
own
so hot.
question there
Yeah.
Yep.
because that's
Yep,
why
you've
they
just
heat
got-
it for
You've
10
just
seconds.
you've added molten sort of plastic into
Yeah.
your peas.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
tasted great. It doesn't matter anyway because I was going to get killed by sweet corn.
Oh yeah.
Nick says, "Why are peas only mushed with fish and chips, but never with any other meal?" Nick, have a
Well,
quiche.
Nick.
For goodness sake, mate.
Yeah,
Have a
yeah.
quiche.
Oh,
Get yourself to Nottinghamshire or Lincolnshire or Derbyshire because they do all sorts of things with mushy peas.
Simon says that he had a mate from the frozen north I mean, that's vague.
So, Simon says.
Simon says,
Right.
so this may or may not be, well, you have to do it.
Right.
He had a mate from the frozen north who used to put his peas on to cook before putting chicken in the oven, and which goes back to what you were saying, Harry, about them being cooked for ages.
Yeah.
And Joe says the fish and chips.
Where's my birthday cake?
Yeah, different Joe.
Oh,
different
nearly a whole episode.
Good
now.
point. Good point. Yeah, it's a fair point. Does Joe like mushy peas, Lewis?
Yeah, she does.
Does she?
Yeah.
Has she ever been allowed a pea fritter?
Only on a birthday.
She can have a pea fritter whenever she likes, but I don't think she's not a big fan of deep fried kind of stuff.
Oh, she hasn't lived. Right. Okay. Different Joe says the fish and chip supper is a myriad of different textures, from crispy batter surrounding the soft, rubbery fish. I mean, rubbery fish doesn't make it sound nice.
That sounds overcooked.
Yeah, which is essentially imprisoned
Or undercooked. But yeah.
Oh,
Yes, of
yeah,
course,
yes,
yes.
true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue. I don't eat the stuff. It all smells horrible. So to
Like
the
egg.
chip, which is essentially imprisoned mashed potato, then the smoothness of the peas to cleanse as well as coat the palate. So that's what she reckons peas are for. Mushy peas are to coat the palate. But she has it with a hint of mint, which... Would you want mint with your fish and chips?
No.
Uh,
It was like poetry, that, Joe, up until that point, and then
Yeah.
you've ruined it by talking about mint.
You ruined it. Okay, guys. Yeah, that's probably the doorbell. Probably got to go pretty soon. Overrunning my lunch break, and I was late because I cycled slowly. So let's not push our luck here. Have you got anything else to add before the end of the episode, Lewis?
I have one quick question that's been on my
Okay.
mind since
dear.
right at the start, where we said we were going to take a deep dive into mushy peas. And the
Yes.
question is, would you like to take a deep dive into a pool of mushy peas?
Oh, what for comic relief?
Yeah.
We
I
could
mean,
do
we don't
it,
want to
couldn't
waste
we?
food. We don't want to
could
waste
do it.
food.
Yeah, that's true.
But
What temperature are the peas?
oh yeah, not too warm but not boiling.
They haven't been
Obviously.
put in polystyrene cups before.
No, they've not been microwaved in
Okay.
polystyrene cup.
I could probably bathe in
Yeah.
warm mushy peas.
I think
Just to give people that image as they go to sleep if they're listening to it late.
What about you, Harry?
Yeah, I wouldn't want. I could. I think I could sit in a bath of mushy peas for charity, but I don't want. I wouldn't want to stick my head in them. I've got to be honest. That would be. There would be a caveat to the whole enterprise that I would not submerge myself facially into the mushy peas, but sitting in them up to the waist, I'll be absolutely fine.
I have never tried it, but I would assume that I don't think I would enjoy mushy peas in the crevices.
Oh, I wouldn't enjoy it, but I'd be doing it for charity. That's the whole point.
Okay, fair enough. Harry, anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
Well, thank you very much for doing all your research. It's very exciting.
It was a busy morning.
I enjoyed it muchly, apart from very quickly losing the quiz
Yeah,
within
well,
a few seconds.
yeah.
But thank you and have a
Yes.
lovely week. We'll see you next week.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.